Hey YouTube, I'm back. It is a Crafty Notary back with another video today. So, free coaching is working. I have a video for you with free coaching. Now, this question comes from Alicia, and she actually asked me two questions, so I'll make two videos for that. But the first question was, how do I get an EIN or an EIN number? Now, let me start off this video by saying that I am not an accounting professional. However, I do have experience in starting businesses because I've started multiple businesses. And I also have taken master level courses in accounting because I do hold an MBA. All right, so that gives me some authority, but again, I am not a professional accountant by trade, okay? So, what is an EIN? So a TIN and an EIN are one and the same. I believe TIN stands for Taxpayer Identification Number. EIN stands for Employer Identification Number, okay? EIN number is free. Where do you get the EIN? You get the EIN from the IRS.gov, okay? And why, I had to open my mirror there. Why would you need an EIN? Let's talk about that. So, there are different types of business structures. Contrary to popular belief, okay, there are only a couple of business structures, a few. The first one is sole proprietor. And a sole proprietor is when you are self-employed, you work for yourself, you typically have no employees, you are working under your own name, and it's just very cut and dry, okay, very simple. The second business structure is called LLC, which stands for Limited Liability Company, okay? Now, an LLC is a type of incorporation. It's incorporating your business into an actual business. So it's incorporating your name and your work into a legitimate business. LLC does provide limited protection against your assets. Contrary to popular belief, that's where I should have put it, it does not completely 100% protect you and your assets from being sued. There is a such thing as piercing the corporate veil, which applies also to the LLC. And so if you do not have your LLC properly structured or properly set up, then someone could quite actually come after or go after your personal assets. So don't be fooled into thinking just because you have an LLC, nobody can touch your personal assets. They absolutely can. All right. The next business structure that, for all intents and purposes of this video, because there are others like LLP, joint, all that stuff, joint ventureships and all of that stuff. But we're talking about the common three. The next one is corporation. So a corporation is another type of business structure where you incorporate, and that structure has typically directors, okay? An LLC is usually owned by one owner or more than one owner, which is a partnership if you have two owners in your LLC. But a corporation typically has a board of directors, which can be just one, ironically. But there is different tax stipulations for a corporation versus an LLC. And that is where the difference comes in. So when you are a corporation, your business is its own entity. It's its own person, if you will. So when you have a corporation, it is 100% separate from you as an individual. It's its own entity. Over here, you're over here. So there is more protection with a corporation than an LLC. But again, nothing is ever 100%. There is a such thing, as piercing the corporate veil. So nothing is ever 100%. A corporation also issues stocks or shares, okay? Not stocks per se, but shares to their shareholders. And so, for sake of simplicity, there can be just one share, and you as the owner can own one share. The share is private. It's not publicly traded or on the stock market or anything like that. It's just one share, okay? So for more information on which to form, LLC is the most common for those who are self-employed, but you should consult a professional if you are unsure about which type of structure you want to incorporate with. Now, going back to the IRS. The IRS treats an LLC and a corporation differently when it is taxed. An LLC is taxed by what is called pass-through. Pass-through means that the IRS passes through the company and taxes the funds that you get on your personal taxes. So that is when you come up with the Schedule C. On your personal income taxes, you file your business income taxes all together, one and the same. Those funds are all taxed together. That's why it is sometimes more beneficial if you have a W-2, because you are being taxed through your employer, which can save you taxes on your actual business funds, okay? If you have a corporation, that corporation is taxed by itself. It's taxed as an entity. So it's not going through your personal tax. Whatever funds you pay yourself is brought in as either an owner or an employee, and those funds are taxed on your personal income taxes, but the corporation is always taxed by itself, because remember, it's its own entity. All right. Now you can get into S Corp for an LLC taxation purposes and all of that. I think there's S Corp and there's C Corp. Those are types of ways of taxing an LLC. Typically an S Corp is not, you don't declare an S Corp on an LLC until you're making a specific amount of money consistently. So don't get into all of that without the advice of a tax or a accounting CPA professional. So going all the way back to an EIN, once you create a business structure, or once you decide on a structure, including sole proprietor, you can go to the IRS and say, hey, I am a business. I would like to have an EIN. That number is free to apply for, and you apply right on the IRS's website. Now, there are some rules to applying for an EIN in the event should you change your business from one structure to another. So if you're a sole proprietor, you may have to get a new EIN if you incorporate to an LLC. All right. But as a sole proprietor, you can absolutely get an EIN. Why is an EIN important to you? An EIN is important because it helps you establish your business as a business. You can complete a W-9 when you work for other folks as an independent contractor, such as signing services. And you can use your EIN number instead of your personal Social Security number. Okay? Also, you need that EIN number in order to create and open a bank account. So some banks will require an LLC incorporation documents as well, articles of incorporation as well. But mostly all you need is an EIN. Opening a business account is the most important thing you can do for your business, because that shows the public and the courts, in the event you have to go to court, that you are operating separate from your personal life. And that is one of the quickest ways that someone can pierce the corporate veil, is if you are commingling your business monies with your personal monies. Okay? If you are mixing those monies together, you're not running a business, you have a hobby, my friend. Okay? So the number one step in having a business is separating your money so that your business money is accounted for and your personal money is accounted for separately. All right? And so you need an EIN for that. So it's rather simple to apply for an EIN. You just go to the IRS.gov website and declare what type of business structure you are, and they will assign you a EIN number. Once you get that number, it is your number forever. Okay? It does not go away. How do I know that? Because I have a number from way back in the day when I was a sole proprietor. That number still exists, and it is still assigned to me. In order for me to get rid of that number, I have to send information to the IRS saying I no longer want the number or something like that. But I have had that number for this EIN number for years, okay, under just my name. And even when I got married, I had to call the IRS, send them a copy of my marriage license, and show them that my name actually changed to change it on the EIN number. So I've had this EIN number for a really long time. Now, how do you use your EIN number if you assign it to your name? If you operate as a sole proprietor, that means you are operating and doing business under your own name. Should you want to do business under another name, but you want to use your EIN that you already have assigned, then you will go to the state and say, hi, I'm a sole proprietor. I need a DBA. That is called a doing business as, or a fictitious name. Okay? A fictitious name is when you want to do business under another name that is not your own out in the streets. So if my business is a sole proprietor, it's Ayana Weaver, or Ayana Lugo. Weaver is my maiden name. Lugo. But I can do business as Lugo Notary Services, doing business as Ayana Mobile Notary, Ayana's Mobile Notary, or doing business as the Crafty Notary, right? So my actual LLC is not called the Crafty Notary. It has another name, but I am doing business as the Crafty Notary. Okay? So even if you have an LLC and your LLC name is not exactly the name you want to make your business, you can create a fictitious name, a DBA, with the state of Florida, and create a DBA, a fictitious name. Now, in order to create that name, you go to sunbiz.org here in the state of Florida. I forgot how much it is. It's not very much. However, you also have to publish that name in a paper. It is required that you publish your name in a paper. So basically, you're telling the public, hello, public, I, Ayana Lugo, am going to be operating under this name. And technically, if the public has any objection, they can make an objection. Nobody sees the paper anymore. But I believe it's online. They give you the publications that you can advertise it with. It's not that much. You'll get something in the mail from people once you do set up the DBA. You'll get letters saying, hey, you need to advertise your name. You'll get it in the mail. So that is that. That's the free coaching for this morning. Again, if you want free coaching, drop a comment below or send me an email to info@thecraftynotary, or reach out to me on Instagram in my DM at The Crafty Notary, and I will provide free coaching for you within the next 24 to 48 hours. Shout out to Alicia for this question. I'll answer the next question on the next video, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.